Hello, everyone. We are officially back. That's right, we are officially back. This is Movie Reviews by Dr. B and
Mrs. B.
That's right, we're starting another series of movie reviews, and we are a professional couple of married for 31 years and what?
31 years and have 3 children who are adults.
And we just happen to be persons of color and baby boomers. And we're going to review some special classic romance movies for Valentine's Day. That's right, some classic romance movies for Valentine's Day. Thank you, Mrs. B. And the 2 movies that we're going to review, especially for Valentine's Day, 2 classic romantic movies, Houseboat and Chocolate.
Yes.
Houseboat featuring Cary Grant and Sophia Loren, and Chocolate featuring
Johnny Depp and Juliette Binoche.
Thank you.
Among other cast of stars.
Among other cast of stars. And let me just say, why do you think what about these 2 movies right up front? They're so classic, romantic.
They're classic and they're romantic, and they are stories filled with family, filled with lessons learned in life, and filled with love. So, just in time for Valentine's Day.
Thank you. Just in time for Valentine's Day. And we watched these movies several years, and we just thought it would be appropriate for each and every one of you. And I'm just going to hold up for our viewing audience the DVD of Houseboat featuring Cary Grant and Sophia Loren. A classic movie made during 1958. And Mrs. B and I watched the movie again, and I'm gonna give a quick overview of the movie, and then and the different cast, but the quick plot, and get your take on what did you think. Really, there were so many messages in this romantic movie, but what was the essential message at the end?
Yes.
It was just so
I will
classic.
have my say.
Oh my gosh, you just have your say. So let me just give you a quick plot on this. Cary Grant, the debonair Cary Grant, film star. He was actually born. He was born in 1904, and he passed away in 1986. He was a esteemed actor for a number of years, with his actual first film back in 1932.
1932. Long history of acting.
Yeah, and he made this movie with Sophia Loren in 1958. So let me get to the quick plot. I got a lot of filler material about Cary Grant and Sophia Loren. And let me just say, Sophia Loren, esteemed actress, and she actually was born 1934 and started acting during the 1950s. And she's an Academy Award winner, by the way. Academy Award winner and an international film star. So that's how I'm gonna just say that. No, I'm gonna go crazy a little bit.
She's a beauty. Sophia is a beauty.
Thank you.
There is no doubt, and so wonderful. The cast, I would like to say, it's a film filmed in Washington D.C., American and Italian, and the main cast, you have Cinzia Zaccardi, who is Sophia Loren's character role, and she's educated in the finest schools in Switzerland and all over Europe, and her father, the conductor Arturo Zaccardi. And they are a duo where she feels like she's confined by her father, and she has to travel and listen to and be the proper socialite.
She was actually 22 in the movie.
Yes.
She played
was very
22.
Young,
yeah.
Very young. And so, along these boarding schools. And so she decided to be a little more adventurous. And, her father's very restrictive, and she wanted to break out. She starred as well, the character of Cary Grant was Mr. Tom Winters. And he had 3 children, which were David, Elizabeth, and Robert.
Well, yeah.
And that's their characters.
And the youngest one always walked around with a harmonica. Because he was so disenchanted, because unfortunately in their life, their original mother got in a car accident, and the character Cary Grant, Tom, he was actually divorcing her at the time.
He was divorcing her at the time. He lost his wife. She was deceased, and the children were grieving for their mother. And the sister-in-law, she had her eyes on, the family, on Carrie. Says, well, my sister got to you first. And so, in the end, Sophia, her character role, Cynthia. But I tell you, Cary Grant, as a husband, moving and working for the government agency.
He was a government agency person.
Working as a socialite, and she came in, and what a handsome swooner Cary Grant is.
Wow.
And she picked, was at the fair, and this little boy she was talking happened to be escaping from his dad because he's having some issues with being sad and playing that harmonica. And then she meets him at the fair, and she's childlike herself because she wants to venture and she wants to get out. And she connects with them because they have the same type of connection of her growing up, and she understands how the children feel. And so they, the little boy goes home, they find him, and she brings him back to the apartment that he stays in temporarily.
Good point.
And then eventually he wants to find a home, and it ends up being a houseboat. So she humors him. And one of my favorite things that I think she does, all of them needed something, the older
everyone, let me just say, everyone had a psychological issue. The older brother had a psychological issue. He was needing attention because he was stealing everything. The daughter needed attention because she lost her mother, and she was being detached from Cary Grant. And then the youngest one was really traumatized. That's the reason why he always played his harmonica and disturbed everything and went off on his own. So he was really the key to keeping the family together. Once you had that little kid with the harmonica, guess what? The family kind of came together.
He played the song. The middle child, or the daughter, I would say, Elizabeth, who played the character of one of the Winters children, she was practical. She was always the mender, bringing the older one that was David along with the younger one, and then she was like, well, he's just going to play that harmonica. She was practical. She was curious, and she was also she was just cute as a button. And along with David, I like the fact that he had psychological issues in terms of grief. And how to get over that. And he needed his dad as well as the younger one. And so I thought each one of them, they were curious, inquisitive young children. And so Sophia, I like the part before they moved to the rowboat, to the houseboat, that is. Before they moved there, he was like, well, I'll hire you as a maid. And, he undercut her, her upbringing. He didn't know what she did.
He had no idea.
He had no idea what she did.
And she just played along with it.
That's
the thing about it. Sophia in the role,
well,
she just played along
with it.
it.
Low class me, I'll play along with you until I give you a lesson.
Yeah, and she gave him
beautiful
a big
art
lesson.
print. Yeah, she went over to the wall, and he's straightening his wall up. She says, well, I'm gotta leave, and I'm getting ready to go. And he's like, well, do you need help with your children? What do you need? And he straightened up his print. I got it handled. I'm a dad, and I'm looking for a maid or a nanny. And he straightens up the picture, and she says, let me see. The picture you have on your wall is a print. It's sized down, and it's really not the original. I just wanted to let you know. and she knew the artist and everything. And so he says, well, wait a minute, this is a little bit of a different. This is not kind of like a maid that I thought. And so she dropped a little knowledge on him.
She dropped knowledge. And so to get through the entire scenario, they got on the houseboat, and then she wanted to leave. They had controversy on the houseboat. One thing led to another, okay? And we want to get, how did the romance come together between the two? We had the kids, but how did the romance come together between Sophia and Carrie by the end?
By the end, when they were dancing and when they went to a ball, and I thought it was funny because Donatello's store is where he was supposed to take her out, and she came in, she helped the children, she came as a nanny, and then they got to know each other, fixed up the houseboat, and they went through all these stories and all these all these lessons in life. And then she was supposed to go out and with this beautiful dress he bought her
Gold dress.
this gold lame, gorgeous, and she refined it. But the thing is that the sister-in-law who was jealous, well, you can come along, and his friends were treating her like, a lower class socialite as well, and they're trying to, taking the children to get culture in society in Washington D.C. So she had this beautiful gold lame dress on, and she well, first of all, when she came in there, that classic Milan style was gorgeous with the hat and dress.
And then what happened there? No, I got that. We got that. What happened when he was getting ready? He danced with Sophia. He was already committed to the sister-in-law, but
Yes,
when he danced with Sophia,
Yes.
and they did a close-up,
He
completely changed, and he did what?
The marriage
Oh,
plans
my
of
gosh.
Carolyn went out the window.
Yeah.
And Sophia, he looked into her eyes how gorgeous she was. Even Donatello, the store owner, that she was supposed to be matched with, he said, I can't.
No.
Mamma mia, I cannot go
He's
with that.
actually said. I wrote it down. Angelo said.
I'll be married.
No, he said exactly. He said. And Angelo said.
Excuse me.
Angelo said.
Donatello.
You're beautiful, and I love you, and I never want to see you again. She was that striking.
Yeah.
So he said, I don't want to see
Striking.
you again, because he's a firm bachelor, but he
Yes.
knew if he
Yes.
went out with Sophia, it was over with him. He would
was
be
over.
married, and the end of story for him. So he said, I gotta go.
Beautiful.
But
And-
again,
and
getting
in
back
a
to that
very
last scene.
Italian culture,
Yeah.
loving way.
Loved how Sophia
Yes.
brought in the Italian culture
And the
all
culture.
through
I even
it.
thought that her
Pesco,
language.
pesto,
Presto, bing bang bong, a bing bang bong.
And that's really how it ended at
Yes,
the end,
she
where
looked-
the
they looked
kids
into
all
each other's
came
eyes.
together,
Oh,
and they
yes.
had the wedding on the houseboat.
Yes.
And when she came out in her wedding dress, and the three
Oh,
kids
lovely
joined
wedding
in with
dress.
Cary Grant.
Well, don't
just
forget the
striking.
father. The father says, I cannot take her anymore. She keeps rebelling against me.
Yeah,
Come on in.
but he
And
brought
they
in.
brought
But
in.
by the
And the
end,
dad
they
came
all
into the
came
picture.
in
The
together,
conductor,
and they
classical
came
symphony orchestra.
came as a family, and
They
they
did.
got married on the very, very last scene. So please check out that last scene. So what do you give this movie, Mrs. B? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Well, I want to say that it was a story of life lessons, grief, love, talking about God and conversations and death of a loved one, of a mother, and finding a new mother. And that was a very nice family value to treasure and hold, and for you to go see and watch Houseboat. And I would say, with all the beauty and all the elegance and all the love and romance of Cary
Yes, we got it.
Grant as role of Tom Winters, and Sophia Loren, beautiful, extraordinary actress, I give a thumbs up.
There you go. I give a thumbs up too. Excellent job.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's. That's our first movie.
Beautiful.
That's our first movie. And by the way, just a little side note on that final movie. There was really chemistry going on with Cary Grant and
There
Sophia
was.
Loren. And let me just say this.
When
I
they
just
looked
pulled
at
this
each other,
information.
the eyes
Guess
were
what?
sparkling.
Guess what? Well, Sophia and Cary had an affair. Cary Grant
Yeah, I
had an
saw
affair.
that. I was like, look, should I
He
take
was
that
actually
right now
married.
and let you handle that?
Just doing a little research.
I'll let
Cary
you
Grant
talk
was
about
married
that.
six times, and he had a little
Cary's a
affair with
swooner.
Sophia. And Sophia talked about it in real life too.
Yeah, he's
so
a swooner.
it was he's got style and just complete style, but he even lost his composure with Sophia. So
Yeah.
there you go.
He really fell into Sophia's
Yeah,
eyes. He was
yeah.
like, oh.
That's pretty hard. That's okay. No, so that's our first romance movie. Our second is Chocolat, featuring Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp.
And by the way, you can see all the screens and all the screenplays, the production, the producer's name when you roll the credits on the movie. And make sure to look at all those producer, directors, executive producers as well. I'd like to say, before we review the movie, chocolate. I'd like to say, in this particular role, there's a disclaimer here, and it's a serious one, but it's a beautiful movie to continue to watch. Harvey Weinstein, who was one of the producers, has was convicted and charged on some of the film during the height of doing investigations. Some of the producers and directors were convicted and charged and convicted. And they're no longer producing in the Hollywood movie industry. And I wholly support the SAG, Screen Actors Guild, and their intimacy policy coordinator policy of protecting actors and actresses against sexual harassment and any sexual abuse.
There you go.
Including at their homes and at the studio set.
There you go.
And we do not support any abuse of any actors or any film that we review, any abuse of any man, woman, or child in the movie industry.
There you go.
And no sexual harassment at all. And we do not support any actor or film or producer who would do such a thing to harm anyone.
Okay. So,
and that is the disclaimer before we go on to the next movies from here on out.
Mrs. B.
From Mrs. B. And
That's
Dr. B. Thank you.
Now let's get to the movie, this romantic movie.
Yes.
Give us the quick plot because we don't want to go too long right now because you and I have to spend some time together.
We have to spend some time.
So, yes, we do.
Yes, I know.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, Doctor.
Please go ahead.
Well, the main cast is Juliette Boulet, and she is the role of Vivian Rocher, the whimsical chocolatier. She's a whimsical chocolatier. I love that word. And she blows in with the wind blown into a more structured town and the village of families who lighten up, as I wrote this, lighten up atmosphere with her muse. And actress Victoria De Fizzo as daughter, Anouk Rocher. And that's her role. So very lovable, adventurous, down to earth. She wants to be like her mother. She wants to put down roots eventually because her mother's traveling from place to place with the wind, and it's all magical, but it's all positive, and positive. And then actor Johnny Depp, a traveler, a gypsy tribe, settles camp near the lakes in the town and brings music and different lifestyle as the two find each other in the outskirts of society, but a part of the whole, of the town and the village.
Ponytail Johnny Depp.
Ponytail.
Was that ponytail?
He
was wearing his
lives in France. He has a home in France. I don't know if he's still in the south of France.
Ponytail Johnny. When I saw him with his ponytail, I said, "Yeah." He's
also the star of Pirates, one of the stars of Pirates of the Caribbean. So,
for several years, all three of them.
And then I'll go on to
Captain
finish up
Sparrow.
some of the cast and say that, Captain Sparrow. and so actor Alfred Molino as the administrator, mayor figure, the Coët de Renaud, and then actress Lena Olin. Oh, she's great in acting roles as well, as Josephine Muscat. And from a suppressive life and relationship to find her bloom as an actor, along with Peter Strathmore and Serge Muscat. And actress Carrie-Anne Moss, the role of Caroline Claremont. You remember her from the Matrix movies as well, as Trinity.
Right. Oh,
and then you have actor Aurelian Parent-Koenig as Luke, and the Claremonts and the Drews roles of these actors, as well as all of the other actors that starred in the movie. And Madame and the Koenigs are interesting because I know that Koenigs has a business in art supplies and fine arts for years in Koenigs and all the way back to Michigan, and the Koenig family.
This was kind of a political movie too, wasn't it?
Yeah, Koenig family. They have art
I'm talking
supplies.
in the plot of this
Part
movie.
Part of it is too, because then you have, but that brings up Henry, the father Henry. He is Hugh O'Connor, the hesitant about the Rochers. And then you have Madame Odell. How can you not miss Madame Odell as the fabulous Leslie Caron in Gigi? And who she played
tell me
with.
about the romance.
Could you not mention Madame Caron with Maurice Chevalier and Louis Jordan in Gigi? How could you not? Oh, beautiful cast and beautiful connection.
So tell me about
and that's
the
what
romance.
I would say. Gaston. And all the actors of Gillian Bluret and actor Ron Cook as Alfonso Masso. So
Tell
there
me
you have it.
about the romance.
The romance.
Between
As she
Johnny
blows
Depp.
into
Come
town,
on.
she talks and then goes in. He keeps saying, well, what about this chocolate? And he meets her, this stranger. Who are you? I'm trying to figure you out. And then he meets her and he gives her, and she says, well, how about this? I think I know you. She's very observant. She has this feel of people, this aura. And then she says, very good, not my favorite. So they go through this day after day, the next day, and the little girl's just mixing up the chocolate.
I like the way he was teasing her along. I just love the way he was teasing her along.
Yeah. And then she goes down and find out where he is. And then she meets him again. And then the town father of the figure, the priest, says, I don't know about this. And the town keeps coming in there looking at, well, what is this? And, what is this chocolatier? And she gives it even to the older couple and the baby couple. And then she finds out that there's romance and this pheromones in this chocolate or whatever. And she, I don't know what she puts in it. And then they eat it. And then they go, well, she's different. And they're different down by the lake. But they're part of our society. We all have differences. So let's all get together. And so even the strict moray, the values, and she goes into the church and they find out, we all may not agree on what we believe, whether religious or otherwise, or gypsy or tribal or whomever you are. But we all come together around the things that we like and love and the things that we eat.
Like what?
Chocolate, and our cultures and peoples and beliefs.
And romance.
And family.
And romance.
Everybody was
After everything said, all the political stuff,
yes,
it came down to romance.
Yes, it did. It came down to romance.
And they were on the boat.
Right,
just get back to they had their interlude on the boat, wasn't it?
There was an
also
on the
on
boat.
A small little
those
boat.
lights on the boat floating with the lamps, and yes, quiet, serene, and just rolling along. It made you feel peaceful.
Yes.
And romance can be peaceful. It could be passionate. It could be love. It could be savoir-faire. But also it can be very peaceful and lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey. So, in the end, tell us what happened in the end.
In the end, I would say that, they all came together and I would have to say that you need to watch the rest of it. She changed the town, the way they feel, the way they govern, in terms of, how they get along with people. Long lunches in Europe, the lunches are, at least in France, the lunches are a little longer, holiday, and closing down the stores and opening back up. And so it changed the atmosphere. She came in with her whimsical ways and then blowing out of town. Does the wind change? Is it time for me to go? Do I stay for a romance? Or do I go?
Oh.
I would suggest you watch to find out.
Watch to find out.
Watch
Great.
to find out.
That's
And see what happens at the end.
Woo! Now that's romantic.
That's
mystery.
romance. So you
That's a
can watch
romantic
it
mystery,
and
too.
hug and love together.
Oh my gosh.
Hug and love together.
We're going to
And
have
be
to watch
yourself.
that movie
Be
again.
yourself. We're going to have to watch it all the way through again.
Yeah. Well, so do you give
Hug
it a
and love
thumbs
together.
up or thumbs down, Mrs. B?
Well, I
With
don't...
everything going on.
With everything going on, I know some movies, we can't give a thumbs up on everything. But I will say that most of the ones we review, we enjoy watching. And I'll finish up by saying this, that on the producers that we didn't like them. Those thumbs down on them.
Oh, definitely.
On those
That's
producers.
neither here nor there.
Okay? But on the rest of the actors and the cast.
Just talking about romance movie.
And the romance.
The romance.
And Valentine's Day.
We can just stay in the romance.
I give it a thumbs up.
That's what I give it. I give it a thumbs up too, even though I didn't know what the heck was going on at times.
Houseboat. That's a man.
I didn't know what was going on. I'll still give it a thumbs up.
And chocolate.
Yeah, thumbs up for Houseboat and thumbs up for chocolate.
Both.
There you go. Wow, we went through two movie reviews. Classic movies.
Yes, we did.
Yes, it wasn't that pleasant to
was
think
pleasant.
about romance during Valentine's Day. And we want everyone to think about romance during Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Any last
And
point?
just hug your loved one.
And
happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you, Mrs. B.
You're welcome.
This is Movie Reviews by Dr. B and
Mrs. B.
see you later. We out.